Welcome to the archive for Sexology. Among many other things, we also offer a free online curriculum in sexual health. I'm its author, Erwin Haberli. Right now, I want to introduce you to a subject covered in our course number 5, Sexual Dysfunctions. This modern medical term is used by doctors and therapists when their patients or clients feel sexually inadequate or complain that they cannot have sex the way they used to or cannot even start sexual intercourse. The therapists then speak of an impairment of the sexual response. Of course, sometimes the complaint is unfounded, and there is no impairment, but there are only unreasonable expectations. An experienced therapist can correct these in an initial interview. But now let's talk about the cases that can profit from actual therapy. So let's start with a definition. We speak of a sexual dysfunction when an individual's sexual response is significantly impaired. This can be an occasional, frequent, or permanent problem. However, here are a few notes of caution. Number 1, this is a soft definition and open to interpretation. After all, what degree of impairment is significant, and to whom? Second, most often sexual dysfunction is defined in relation to the ability to perform or enjoy coitus, vaginal intercourse. Thus, it is basically seen as a problem arising between partners of different sex. Here we restrict ourselves to the dysfunctions preventing or interfering with coitus. As I explained in my first course, the sexual response of females and males go through the same phases. We also know that the sexual dysfunctions can appear in any of these phases. So, if we can compare phase by phase the female and male sexual response, we can also compare its impairment phase by phase. To my mind, our professional terms should reflect this insight. Instead of falsely suggesting non-existing differences, we should stress the similarities of female and male sexual dysfunctions. Indeed, basically, we're dealing here with two problems. First, problems of tumescence, and second, problems of orgasm. The following table gives you an overview. We notice here that there is a problem specific to females, an involuntary spasm that closes the vaginal entrance. This so-called vaginismus prevents the insertion of a penis, and thus sexual intercourse cannot even begin. Leaving aside this relatively rare dysfunction, let's now take the two more common problems one at a time. First, tumescence. That is the engorgement with blood of the female and male sex organs. It is the manifestation of physical arousal. When it is absent, the individual is not ready to begin intercourse. In females, there is a lack of vaginal lubrication, and in males, there is a lack of penile erection. Second, orgasm. That is the climax of sexual excitement. Both sexes experience a series of sudden muscular spasms of decreasing intensity. In some cases, an individual is unable to time his climax so that she or he or both are satisfied. In some other cases, a person is unable to reach a climax at all. Now back to absent or insufficient tumescence. This problem can appear in either of both sexes. it is a relatively simple matter and easily noticed by the sexual partners. Once again, the illustration will make this clear. In the later sections of the course, you will find out what to do about this problem, but right now I just want to give you a practical and accurate description. Second, we have two problems of orgasm. These are summarized in the following illustration. You will notice that when it comes to the timing of orgasm, the chart repeatedly uses the word opinion. This makes a very important point. There are not and there cannot be objective criteria for sexual dysfunctions. And the reason is this. A person practicing solitary sex has no sexual dysfunctions. However, once a second person gets involved, we are dealing with intercourse in the original sense of the word. Communication between individuals who somehow have to reach an understanding with each other. This also applies to their sexual communication, that is, to their sexual intercourse. Its goal is mutual satisfaction, not the satisfaction of only one of the partners. That's why it is important to pay attention to their expectations, feelings, and opinions. You will also notice that the chart reveals a strange difference within the similarities. What is considered a dysfunction in one sex is not always so considered in the other. No man complains when a woman reaches orgasm within seconds, and few women complain when a man takes a very long time to reach orgasm. Of course, when you look ever more closely at this issue, you'll notice that it can be more complicated, and the rest of the course will go into that. It will also deal with the inability to reach orgasm, rare in males, not uncommon in females. However, here in my little introduction, I simply want to give you a basic understanding and a terminology that clarifies rather than obscures the problems. Finally, another sober observation. Sexologists are often asked about the number of people who suffer from sexual dysfunctions. A reasonable question. But the short answer is, nobody knows. Disappointed? Okay, I can also give you a longer answer. It is difficult, if not impossible, to say how many people suffer from sexual dysfunctions and to what degree. Most available figures are provided by therapists or drug companies who want to sell their services or products, and thus have a professional interest in large numbers of potential patients. In any case, patients showing up for therapy are never representative of the population as a whole. Truly representative sex surveys are rare and usually silent on this point, because self-reports about sexual difficulties are not reliable. Many people lie, deceive themselves, or exaggerate in either direction. Others, being unaware of the biological and social realities around them, cling to unrealistic norms of sexual performance. Moreover, as already stated, any definition of sexual dysfunction itself cannot help but be soft and imprecise. The term lends itself to stretching and often is used to cover all kinds of minor disappointments and temporary inconveniences. However, people are not machines, and everyone is likely to experience occasions when the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. In such cases, it would be inappropriate to speak of a sexual dysfunction. Finally, different people have different sexual needs, and some couples may be greatly mismatched in this regard. with different partners, they might not have any problems at all. In short, beware of any number about the alleged prevalence of sexual dysfunctions. More about all of this in the course number 5.